and let us all do we can to build a better future.
So last week, I did a story on Russell Brand going on Fox News. And, of course, The Guardian, there was this wonderful little opinion piece that was blaming Russell Brand for the potential darkness that could be impacting American politics. Because apparently Russell Brand is descending into conspiracy politics, right? Or at least according to The Guardian. So I want to play just at least 5 minutes of Russell Brand speaking about his time going on Fox News and sharing his thoughts with a different audience and different people of different political spectrums. So what's a real takeaway of going on Fox News? Let's be very clear here. Fox News is just the same as all the other corporate media outlets. The only difference is that, well, their shows are more entertaining and they have a larger audience. It is what it is. I know growing up back in the day, if you were a liberal or progressive, Fox News was the enemy of all enemies. But when it comes down to getting eyeballs glued to the television, Fox News is a master at it. CNN, BSDNC, ABC, CBS. The only reason why they were relevant the past 4 years is because they kept on promoting Trump. And without their orange Cheeto, they're hankering for a fix. And Fox News has still remained more relevant, unlike CNN, which went broke promoting their, oh so fantastic CNN Plus. So I'll play this video from Russell Brand's YouTube channel. I'll just play like a little bit 5 minutes into it. And I think there's a couple of takeaways that we can get from this. And there's a reason why I'll be playing this video, because we have to start breaking down our barriers and speaking to people who are Republican or libertarian or conservative. Because let's face it, with the state of our economy, how our politicians are not representing us, now more than ever, people need to work together. And we need to start building movements and organizations not connected to Washington, D.C. We need to start supporting citizen ballot initiatives. And we need to start supporting independent and third-party candidates. So without further ado, let's play this video.
I went on Tucker Carlson and Greg Gutfield's Fox News show, leading the neoliberal establishment to attack me for being a right-wing conspiracy theorist. But is it necessary to have new conversations? And who is it that's interested in censorship now? Is it the left or is it the right? Hello there, you 6 million awakening wonders. Thanks for joining me on this voyage to truth and freedom, which will involve new alliances, new conversations, new ways for peripheral voices to attack centralized establishment authoritarian powers, which is exactly why I was appearing on Fox News and having conversations with other commentators and pundits from across the political spectrum. The controversy was stirred up by my appearance on shows like Tucker Carlson, Greg Gutfield. I spoke to Ben Shapiro, also numerous right-wing commentators. You'll remember, if you're my age, that right wing just used to be one of the things that a person could be and wasn't automatically associated with things like fascism and racism and all the ideas I think fundamentally we're agreed are bad ideas wherever we stand politically. So what is the agenda of the neoliberal establishment media? What do they want spoken about? What do they not want spoken about? Because let me tell you up front, what I learned from my conversations with figures from the conservative right, let's call them, is that there is a new willingness to form new alliances in order to be able to attack centralized establishment authoritarian power, i.e.
Now let's look at that for example. I will try not to interrupt too much into it, and I urge everyone to check out the full video. We have all our show notes in the description box below, so please be sure to check out the full video of Russell Brand talking about his experience on Fox News. But here's the thing that I've noticed. Whenever you see commentators on the left or right, or when you ever have people, Republican or Democratic voters, that are finally waking up to the fact that a two-party system is screwing us over, the neoliberal establishment system begins to panic. Because let's face it, the system that they put in place for decades had successfully brainwashed millions upon millions of Americans. I don't care what generation you're part of. There's no denying the actual fact that corporate media and the Democratic and Republican establishments did everything they could to keep the American people divided. Now, I think for this most part, especially in regards to how our system is falling apart, many Americans are waking up to the fact of, hey, our politicians have gold-plated healthcare. Hey, our politicians are doing insider trading and not going to jail. Hey, these politicians are in their 80s and 90s. Why are they still in office? Hey, these other newer politicians that we elect into office are just waiting in wings. They're just going to be the same old copy of the old politicians when they die off. It's the same vintage of wine, the same grape. They're not going to do anything different. Nothing will fundamentally change. The same people who control the Democratic Party and Republican Party are the same organizations that control our media. And it's a sick system. Look at what's happening in this country right now. Look at what's happening to the American people. I don't care how you vote. I don't care who you worship, the color of your skin, or what generation you're part of, but these are things that are impacting us all. So wake up to these truths that I will tell you. Number one, inflation is destroying millions of households in America. Buying a gallon of milk, carton of eggs, getting a gallon of gas, it's costing an arm and a leg. Yes or no? Yes, it is. I don't care how well off you are, everyone's feeling it in their wallet. Owning a home, it's becoming a dream. Hell, it's becoming a fantasy. Dare I say it, it's going to be crossing the lines of mythology. There once was a person named Hercules, son of Zeus. Did you know at one point an American citizen can own a house? Oh, man, that is so fantastical. I never heard of that before. But that's a real thing that's happening. Millions of Americans are losing their homes. Hell, even renting. It's becoming a dream. We have, again, student debt crisis. We have a thing called medical bankruptcy in this country. And I don't care who you vote for or what state you're in, whether it's a red or blue state, medical bankruptcy impacts us all. But what are our politicians doing about it? Nothing. Look what's happening to people in East Palestine, Ohio. Nothing's being done for them. Look what's happened. Looks what's been continuing going on to the people in Flint, Michigan. Clean drinking water? No, not going to happen. Look at the people in the state of Hawaii where their underground water was being contaminated. Anything going to be done for them? Probably not. No. Long-term health impacts? Government doesn't care. Our health insurance is tied to our jobs. And that's impacting millions upon millions of Americans. And I just named 3 areas. There's countless thousands, tens of thousands of areas that are impacted by environmental pollution. But then we got unchecked corruption and a political system that's okay with screwing us over. And they're currently right now keeping us divided. And if you're a progressive and you go on Fox News, automatically you're deemed a right-winger, a racist, a sexist, a bigoted, all the isms, use identity politics, and okay, fine. A progressive goes on Fox News. It's actually pretty important because, again, whether you like Fox News or hate them, at least they get eyeballs and have a viewing audience. Unlike CNN.
Explicitly, people that are conservative and right-wing are willing to have a truce with and alliances with people that are really progressive. They are, in fact, willing to accept that the only way forward for us is to have more democratic power and autonomy in our communities, and that the price for having autonomy and authority in your own community, and I mean power that's achieved democratically, is to allow other people to have their own power and authority in their own communities. However, centralized power wants, of course, a centralized, authoritative, institutionalized power to dictate what is possible and benefits from ongoing cultural conflagration. The reason I go on these various shows is in order to have conversations like this, because I believe change is possible. And before I show you these clips, bear in mind that just a few short years ago, I did this at Fox News.
This is private property.
This bit here?
Yes.
Whose property is it?
The building.
Who's the building belong to?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, it does matter.
I hope these two had a great reunion. I hope that guy's still working there. They actually ran into each other again. Like, hey, I'm back.
It doesn't matter.
I'll just say it then.
You want to get arrested?
We were booked on to Sean Hannity's show.
Okay.
And then it was cancelled. Can I come up, have a look around, maybe have a look at the studio, touch some stuff, meet some of the people from the Hannity show?
Got to wait outside.
Why?
Because that's what we want you to do.
So, here are some of the moments from...
A few years later, Russell Brand goes on Tucker Carlson's show and a few other Fox News shows.
from the conversations I had, and I want you to ask yourself these questions and let me know in the chat and comments what you think. Do these conversations improve the chances of us forming new power structures and new systems? Who is it that seems to be benefiting from the ongoing culture war? And let me know in the chat and the comments, because I'm interested in what you think, and I believe you can handle nuanced thinking.
I also want to, before I'm going to rewind this, but also real quick, shout out to Mahmoud Radi, who tipped $5 here in the live stream chat. China built a skyscraper in 19 days, and we're on 3 presidents in a row who haven't fixed the pipes in Flint. Hey, I got something else too. How about this? Major metropolitan city here in America called the city of Chicago. There's lead in our drinking water, and no president or mayor so far has done anything about that, or even addressed the toxic pollution that's happening in Lake Michigan. Go check out our 2 documentary videos that we did, Toxic Tour and Toxic Tour 2. It's nothing changed. Wait, the only thing that did change is when we did the second video, the second Toxic Tour video, all the activist groups and organizers, whoosh, they just disappeared because Orange Boogeyman was defeated. Everyone went to brunch.
Let's have a look first. So here are some of the moments from the conversations I had, and I want you to ask yourself these questions and let me know in the chat and comments what you think. Do these conversations improve the chances of us forming new power structures and new systems? Who is it that seems to be benefiting from the ongoing culture war? And let me know in the chat and the comments, because I'm interested in what you think, and I believe you can handle nuanced thinking. Let's have a look, first of all, at my appearance on Tucker Carlson on Fox News. In this conversation, both Tucker Carlson and I came to it knowing that we would disagree, presumably, about a lot of issues. That I, broadly speaking, belong to what you might call the cultural left, that he is a conservative person, you might say. We were surprised, in fact, about how many things we agreed upon, I suppose because we both agree with individual and community freedom. There were moments where I gently and respectfully confronted Tucker Carlson around some of the issues where I explicitly disagree with him. For example, the way he's spoken about homelessness in the past, perhaps identity issues, issues of sexuality. And I was surprised, in fact, about how little Tucker Carlson really cared about regulating the private life of other people. But what I would say is that what inspired me about this conversation is both Tucker Carlson and I are absolutely disenchanted with establishment power, whether it's on the left or the right, that neither of those terms mean anything anymore, that authority and government power has been co-opted by financial interest to such a degree that no one is voting for anything meaningful anymore. Have a look. These are them facts that I was going to tell you about, if I may. I hope you will. I certainly shall do my best. I wanted to do it down the barrel. Did you see that? Did you see the presumptiveness of me there, Tucker? To turn straight ahead for my single. A single that frankly wasn't there, because this is Tucker Carlson today.
Let's get a nicer shot of Mr. Brand.
Thank you. Look, he directs from the floor.
Perfection. Perfection. This was beautiful. Well done.
Hello, America. In the world of energy, you know, energy that we require to do stuff, to move things about, to warm our homes, at least 100 members of Congress own fossil fuel stocks, of which 59 are Republicans and 41 are Democrats. Oh, look, the Republicans are a bit worse.
Now, hold on. Listen to everything that he's going to be saying here. And if you're a diehard Democratic voter or a diehard Republican voter, and you're slowly awakening to the fact that something's not right, and this is your first time watching Hard Lens Media, you're going to get an education here. No matter how you vote, Democrat or Republican, both parties are filled with individuals that only care about enriching themselves, continuing on their political careers, and bending over backwards for their political donors. These politicians have gold-plated healthcare. These politicians are able to do insider trading. These politicians are not representing their people. It doesn't matter how you vote. Both parties are friends with each other. The same people who donate to the Democratic Party also donate to the Republican Party. Both parties do insider trading again. Yes, I said it again because I want this to be installed in your minds that if you, I'm talking to you, if you did anything that they are doing right now, being our politicians in the United States Senate and House, you're going to jail. The laws of the land will clamp down hard on you. And you're never going to go home again. These politicians, slap on the wrist. Look at Norfolk Southern. Are they ever going to be held accountable? for what they did to the people in East Palestine? I mean, this is no disrespect, but probably not. No. And I would say for the people of East Palestine, Ohio, all of you are really going to need to come together, look after each other, protect your property records, because what I could see happening is the crisis is going to continue to get worse. Property values are going to come down low. And then you're going to have the vultures, being large real estate developers or people wanting to buy homes, being the banks or anyone else with money, quickly buying up property and displacing all of you. We're seeing it all over this country. It's happening. Private equity, hedge funds, banks, billionaires buying up homes, buildings, real estate, farmland. I wish that this wasn't true, but all of you need to keep your heads on a swivel. And it's not only for the people in East Palestine, Ohio, it's every single American, because those people that are buying up the land, private equity, hedge funds, billionaires, banks, they own our politicians. You think our politicians are going to stop them? No.
Pharma. Of the $263 million of the pharmaceutical industry spent on lobbying in 2021, it gave 61% to the Democrat Party and 39% to the Republicans. Oh no, the Democrat Party is a bit worse. Wall Street. In 2022, commercial banks spent over $30 million lobbying Congress, 61% to the Republicans and 39% to the Democrats. Oh no, look, the Republicans are a bit worse.
If you've seen any of the criticism in the neoliberal media, you might think, well, what was it about? Because these are not right-wing talking points. This is anti-establishment, anti-authoritarian, anti-financial corruption rhetoric that everyone should be interested in. So it makes me think that the voices that are attacking me are, whether unconsciously or not, supporting establishment power. Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the chat.
Let's see what's coming next. Nearly 20% of Congress members, 49 Democrats and 44 Republicans, have been trading shares of companies in industries they are supposed to be overseeing as part of their committee assignments. Each one of these facts indicates a potential solution to the problem that it describes. Don't let members of Congress own stocks at all.
Hold on. I'll let this continue on just for a few more seconds. But again, I just want to reiterate this point that I said on the show. This horrible conflict that's taking place in Ukraine. I just want all of you to know that as those Russian tanks are getting close to the Ukrainian border, a lot of those politicians who are on those committees, the same committees and stocks committees that Russell Brand was reading off of, Democratic and Republican lawmakers, you see, they're given insider information right away. So, hell, they can make a real killing in the stock market. It makes it seem like they got these big brain tactics when really they don't. They're just getting the cheat codes. So as those tanks are getting close to the Ukrainian border, a lot of these politicians were made aware of, oh no, this is happening. Now, let's have democracy in the chat. I know I've asked this question before, but I'll ask it again just to rub salt in the wound. Type 1 if you think as soon as our politicians heard the news that those tanks were getting close to the Ukrainian border, they quickly called for an emergency session of Congress to call for diplomatic actions to make sure that not a single bullet is fired, that there must be diplomacy and diplomatic channels made to Russia and everyone else so no war happens. Type 1 if you think that happened. Type 2 if they called their stockbrokers and they did insider trading to make a killing off of war, profiteering, big oil, etc. Because, in 2022, a lot of your favorite Democratic and Republican lawmakers made a killing last year. They sure got rich. I wonder which one happened. What do y'all think? Type 1 or 2? Type 1 if they did the honorable thing, called for diplomatic actions. We got to call Congress together. Type 2 if they just called the broker like, all right, sell 50,000 shares of this, buy 200,000 shares of this. Seeing a whole bunch of 2s here. That's right, Marvin Vargas. That new mansion doesn't buy itself. New boats don't buy themselves. That would be cool if they did, but they don't.
Pharma. Do not accept lobbying money from the pharmaceutical industry. It's a health industry. The interest should be, as the Hippocratic Oath declares, to do no harm. And get this, maybe even help people.
A lot of my time spent thinking, I wish I could pull that.
All right, so we're going to stop here, but please be sure to check out Russell Brand's full video. But real quick, You would think that people would be embracing what Russell Brand is doing or what Jimmy Dore has done, because Jimmy Dore's gone to Fox News, or I don't know, Dr. Jill Stein, Aaron Mate, Max Blumenthal, Glenn Greenwald, Tulsi Gabbard. You would think people would be applauding, like, yeah, Fox News, you got to get on there. But see, at least according to outlets like TYT, Sammy Boyce Cedar, Humanist Report, going on Fox News is bad. That's why I want to play this little video on Twitter. You know him and love him. He's the best Joe there is. No, not Joe Rogan. No, not Joe Biden. It's Joe. Shut the F up. Shit lib. That's right. He's back, ladies and gentlemen. He's back. Because apparently our boy Bernie Sanders. I said Bernie Splanders. Damn it, Flanders. Bernie Sanders explained why it's okay to go on Fox News. What? Bernie, what?
Are you worried that you're giving the network legitimacy?
Well, better or for worse, and it is for worse for whatever reason. Fox has a huge viewing audience.
Yeah.
And to
Thank you for agreeing with me, Bernie. You cuck.
simply say that we're not going to talk to millions of people who watch that network, I don't think is smart. When I go on Fox, what I will say is, look, many of you voted for Donald Trump, but he lied to you. He told you he was going to provide health care for everybody. Yet his policies are to throw 30 million people off of the health insurance they have. He told you he wasn't going to cut Medicare and Medicaid. He lied to you. Massive cuts in his budget for Medicare and Medicaid. How do you explain that to people who voted for Trump if you don't talk to people who voted?
Last I checked, even during that election year of 2020, I think TYT and a few other networks were like, yeah, Bernie, that was smart to go on Fox. Huh. So it's okay when Bernie does it. Huh? Really? What? Now, everybody else in the Vote Blue No Matter Who circle were about to crucify Bernie.
Voted for Trump. But it's not just Fox. If you check where I go and where I will go into this campaign, I'm not just going to go into blue districts. You got to go into areas where people are. Working people need to know the truth, and that is that Donald Trump betrayed them.
Yeah, okay, whatever. Enough about Trump, okay? Like listen, folks, controversial statement here in 3, 2, 1. Depending on how the rest of 2023 plays out as we get into 2024, there's a very good chance Donald Trump can reclaim the MAGA movement, and dare I say it, even going further, have a strong infrastructure for the 2024 Republican primary. And yes, there is a very good potential chance that he could win the primary and go into the general election. Now, it's again, we'll see how it plays out. But there's a lot of political ammunition, and if Trump is smart and he gets himself a team that knows what they're doing, he'll be a force to reckon with. Because there's one other thing I want to bring up here too. I don't want to go too much into this, so I'll just be pulling up some highlights. But, whenever you see someone actually try and step outside the boundary of the neoliberal narrative, they're vilified. Jimmy Dore, Tulsi Gabbard, Aaron Mate, Max Blumenthal, Glenn Greenwald, etc., etc., etc. And it's another article from The Guardian. And again, this seems like another hate piece. Like, again, anyone that's writing like this, Russell Brand's descent into conspiracy politics. What has he done that's conspiratorial? Now, I read an article from Georgie Boy on how, he said that Russell Brand, this guy, in the next few years, it's going to be his fault that politics is going to take a dark turn. This is the guy, folks, the bad guy, a comedian who has a YouTube channel, went on Fox News. It's all his fault. The reason why you stubbed your toe, Russell Brand. Reason why your car is leaking oil, Russell Brand. The reason why the milk went sour, it's Russell Brand's fault. Creative points to all of you in the chat. If if something happened to you today and you're going to blame Russell Brand on it, everything that went wrong is Russell Brand's fault. World War II, oh, you better believe that was Russell Brand's fault. The Spanish Inquisition, look at him laughing about it. So this is a letter. Took took 3 people: Jonathan, Dr. Helen, Dr. Daniel, and our little boy Andy. Write a little letter. I never shared Georgie Boy's admiration for Russell Brand, and so I'm not quite so bitterly disappointed that the comedian seems to have disappeared down a conspiracist rabbit hole. I once admired Russell Brand. Yeah, so again, a link to the article. But his grim trajectory shows us where politics is heading. Oh no, oh no. I would also be reluctant to cite him as a reason to despair about politics of younger people. See, now again, this is a dig. For start, Brand is not that young. At 47, he is 5 years older than the prime minister. Is he really such an influence on the generally young? He gets a lot of views on YouTube, but the values of the young, especially in relation to climate change, are closer to Georgie Boys than Brand's. Really? So again, like, okay, he gets a lot of views. See, a lot of these people in these media outlets, they're jealous of people like Russell Brand because you know what? Why? Because people like them more. They're more relatable. Anyone in media, be it The Guardian, Vice, Fox, BuzzFeed, ABC, CBS, NBC, you know, they wish they could have a popular YouTube channel. The only reason why corporate media has the views that it has, or why it's at least deemed the authoritative source on social media, is because they bullied their way on there. That's it. But apparently it's all Russell Brand's fault. Everything going wrong in everyone's life is Russell Brand's fault. So there you go. That's one thing. Now, hold on. Actually, a couple other people wrote a few other things here too. So let's read what Dr. Helen wrote. Let's see this. I could not agree more with Georgie Boy on Russell Brand's rants. By the way, I'm going to be disrespectful because here's the thing. They're blaming Russell Brand for the dark turn in politics. He's going to influence the young. What he is he's enlightening people. In fact, there's a two-party system screwing us all over. He has moved, apparently unaware of it, from left to middle, his spiritual phase, to flat out right. Well, he's right about the corruption. So yeah, he's flat out right. Well done, Dr. Helen. You did it. You got something right, doctor. I think a lot of people forget to unsubscribe from his channel. No. See, why would you write this? Right? I think a lot of people forget to unsubscribe. You're telling people to subscribe so somebody's going to read The Guardian and be like, oh yeah, I got to unsubscribe from this YouTuber. No. And I suggest all those people watching Brand a while ago, I stopped during the spiritual phase, should unsubscribe. You know what? Just for that, I'm gonna resubscribe. You can't do that, but there you go. Okay, and Brand interviewed Jordan Peterson, and it felt like love. Oh, please, oh my God. Both expressed that wounded male pride that underpins the exploitation of feelings of sexual inadequacy in older white men by the far right. Okay, there you go. All right, whatever. Identity politics. Let's see. We got Dr. Danny. I wonder if the bleak arc followed by Russell Brand and his fellow populist online conspiracy theorists is quite new. The idea of transcending left and right became popular in the 90s as Bill Clinton and Tony Blair's third way, a social democratic theory of mild redistribution and liberalization that would overcome the staid-old dichotomy between the state and the market. Okay, so you're comparing Russell Brand to people like Bill Clinton and Tony Blair? What? And then, of course, Andy Ruff says he like Georgie Boy. I've been disappointed to follow the career of Russell Brand over the last decade. It's sad to see what was a rare, positive, inspiring voice in the darkness descend into murky, click-rate-driven, negative feedback loop where free thinking meets Andrew Tate's. How is he like Andrew Tate? No, these people are just jealous. You know what? If you don't like Russell Brand, guess what? You don't have to watch his content. However, I'm going to watch his content because he's correct on the fact that neoliberalism, the two-party system, the banks, the corporations, Wall Street are screwing over our democracy. So, in other words, until the media actually does its job, right here. Well done, Russell Brand. Keep on doing what you're doing. And you know what? From here on out, full-on pardon. Hardlands Media is giving full-on pardon to Russell Brand. Why? Because if you stubbed your toe, that's your own fault. The reason why the milk went sour in your fridge, you didn't check the date. It's not Russell Brand's fault. Keep speaking truth to power. And you know what? 2024 is going to be a hilarious political year. Good luck to all of you, because we're going to need it, because for some of us, it just might be a headache.